Right, so we're here with Welling Town Chairman Kevin Oakes doing a monthly review for November. Kev, a lot to talk about this month for various reasons on and off the pitch, so I'll leave it to you. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the Richard Dimmock and Mike Jones leaving and then Louis Dean coming in as manager?
Yeah, first and foremost, a massive thank you to Richard, Mike and Joel, has left the club sadly as well. We would not be where we are today without the input of all three of them, and as I've said many times throughout their time here and since they've moved on a week or two ago, very, very grateful, and they'll always be very welcome, but unfortunately for various reasons felt it was necessary to make a change. Difficult last week or two for the boys, obviously, with a little bit of uncertainty. I think you're going to get that at any level of football. When there's a change, people will just instantly start asking questions and start assuming things. And we've had a couple of good sessions this week. So Louis started on Tuesday evening with training. He trained Thursday as well. Boys seem very positive, and looking forward to the game today against Sutton.
Yeah, we're talking ahead of the game against Sutton, which is a massive game. Probably a baptism of fire for Louis. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
These are probably, we've had lots of first versus second and lots of big games this season, but I think as a club you've got to give respect to Sutton for the results they've had this season, and they look to be one of the strongest sides in the league. Yeah,
I mean, in anticipation for us making the jump into Skeffel this year, I watched quite a lot of games last season when I could, and Punjab and K-Sport seemed to run away with it a little bit. It's a lot closer this time. I know we've been clear, but we have played more games, and if you look at the table, there are 5 or 6 sides that I think are capable of finishing in the top 2 places, and we'll need to make sure that we keep performing. And then even if you look further down the table, Lyd obviously made a difficult afternoon for us last time out. Thamesmead, who we ground share with, their results recently have been good. Forest Hill have won 3 or 4 games in a row, so you know there's a lot of good teams in the league, and we're only halfway. We've done a very, very good job getting where we are, but we've got to make sure that we keep that going right the way to the finish line.
Can you go into more details about why you made the change? Well, keep it sort of non-specific, but off the pitch, on the pitch. Some people have commented that in a statement, you know, it talks about results and then it talks about other stuff. Are you talking about a whole all-round thing, Kevin?
Yeah, lots of little things, culmination of lots of little things, and I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm going to say 99 times out of 100 the work that people have done has been commendable, but
you felt there needed to be a change for several reasons.
Yeah, and as I said, I'd rather not go into those particular details. I think people within the club and people outside the club, ever since we've started, there have been, we spoke about it in the car on the way over it, there's been assumptions from day one about what's going on down here, and they're exactly that, they are assumptions. Nobody really knows what goes on, and I would like us to keep progressing, and in order for us to do that, I think having more hands-on management, young, hungry, ambitious people like me involved with the club, I think that's really, really important. And I'm not naive. I don't think there's going to be many people that are going to be at the club for the next 20 years. You know, people do come and go, and it's often very, very sad when that happens. But I said earlier, we're very grateful for what they've done, but for us to keep progressing forward, I think the change was needed. Yeah.
Right. So where we are in the table, we're still top, so we're in a good position for the first team wise. I think everybody can see there's been a slight little blip in recent weeks, but hopefully now with Louis there's a clean slate and we can kick on again now and strengthen at the top. We'll look at the other sides now. Obviously Tristan moved up to the reserves. How have they been doing?
Yeah, reserves have been doing well. Reserves and under 23s, the player movement is quite fluid between the two. They've been a little bit disrupted in recent weeks because of the weather. Obviously the standard of pitches that they play on is not what the first team do, so it's a lot easier for a game to get called off. A few injuries and suspensions, but generally speaking the progress is good, and those two sides are all about player development. I'm not really interested in many ways in what the results are. It's more about good performances and giving 17 to 21 year olds an opportunity to play men's football and progress, so that when they are needed for the first team, when they're good enough, hungry enough, and when they're required, they get called up. Otherwise there's no point in having those sides, and not everybody is going to make that jump. Not everybody that's a reserve team player is going to be good enough to progress to the first team, but there should be a conveyor belt of people coming through, and yeah, there is, and the results are generally good. Both sides are capable of getting out of their division, but that's not the most important thing. If they do get out of their division, that's a nice bonus.
Do you see with the new first team manager having a lot to do with the youth setup, which he's partnering with Welling Town for next season? Do you see there now being a clear chain of progression right from the youngest youth team all the way through to the first team?
Yeah, I mean, that was a big factor in the decision, but the more I've thought about it over the last sort of 10 days since acting on that, the more it makes sense. If you are running the sides that have 14, 15, 16, 17 year old lads, it's natural, if you're also running the first team, that there's going to be progression. It's very easy to sit and tell people that they get their opportunity, but actually giving them that opportunity is another matter. And even now as we speak, there's a Kent Schools game, under 14s, on the other pitch, where 3 or 4 of those players in the starting 11 are effectively Welling Town players next year, as it stands. So yeah, no better opportunity if you're a young footballer that's got good ability and good attitude. Then if you're not already involved with our club, we hope that you'll get on board, and that pathway for the younger players to progress to adult football, it should be a lot easier.
Do you think, touching briefly on next season, do you think there might be some open trials and stuff like that going on next year? Because it looks like the club's going to explode very shortly in the local area. So do you see stuff like that for people to come and try out?
Yeah, always. I mean, we've got an open door policy. I don't think we've had a training session all year where there hasn't been a trialist. Obviously, we have to vet them a little bit, or we'd have 100 people at training. But everybody's welcome to inquire. There's over 300 youth team players who will be migrating over to our club next summer. That's one hell of an opportunity for the players themselves. But for us as a club, yeah, to suddenly not just have a flagship first team, but to have the whole structure pretty much all kick in next summer, it's going to open a lot of doors.
And the higher we can go, first team level, will bring everything with it, won't it, and more exposure.
Yeah, well, I think don't want to take anything for granted. We haven't made any secret that we do want to get out of this division, and we'll do everything within our power to make that happen. If it doesn't happen, we'll sit down and talk sensibly about why not. When we do get to the next level, whenever that may be, there does need to be a period of stability. You can't just keep getting promoted year after year after year. It's going to catch up with you eventually. So I think at that next level, there are clubs that have got serious finance that we don't have. They've got their own ground and all the benefits financially that brings. Again, we don't have that.
They've got the experience of playing at that level as well, most of them, haven't they, Kevin? And it does seem to be a bit of a jump.
A fan base, more fixtures, more cups, more travelling, all of them things that we haven't experienced yet, that we want to experience, but at the same time we need to be realistic. So yeah, working very, very hard to set everything up off the pitch to make sure if we do get to that level that we can stabilise a little bit, look for our own facility at some point over the next few years, and then hopefully kick on again.
Right, before we come to the Sunday side, we'll talk about player movement in and out. Do you know of any players that have gone? And I spoke to Louis and he said that he's going to give people an opportunity here.
Yeah.
But do we know of any of the people or any of the players that people will know that have left?
Well, first and foremost, we don't need to make wholesale changes, in my opinion. We're top of the table for a reason. My personal opinion is that everybody within the squad deserves their opportunity, and thankfully that's shared by the new management as well. They're not daft. They know that we've got a good squad of players. If they can get another 5 or 10% out of all of them, great. If there are certain people they don't like the look of, or they don't fit into the way that they want to play, or people that want to move on voluntarily, that's always going to happen when you have a change of management. We'll just sit down and talk to those individuals. They have got one or two that they want to bring in, but I think they've parked new players at the moment and just sort of said, look, we'll leave you there for a week or two. Let's see what we've got at the moment and make some decisions, because we don't want to have a revolving door that's not productive for anybody. In terms of players going out, there's one or two. One's asked to leave, and another that's struggling for fitness who is sitting on the fence a little bit at the moment. But no different to any other club, change of manager or not. I think there's always one coming in, one going out at every club on a weekly basis. So I'm not.
We'll go on to the Sunday teams now, though.
Yeah.
We've got the A team, is it, that are playing top division?
Yeah, so the wording of the team names is a little bit back to front, but yeah, we've got two teams on a Sunday. They're both top of their divisions at the moment. Erin and Blaine's team have won every league game, and I think they've won 3 out of 4 cup games as well. And my Sunday side, we're 9 points clear. We've played more games, but we've scored a lot of goals. Pretty much 5, 6, 7 every week. So yeah, it's looking good. There's a little bit of overlap of players. There's a couple of reserve team players that play for me on a Sunday. Sam Bailey and 1 or 2 others play in Erin and Blaine's side on a Sunday. And it is a good level for Sunday football. But yeah, both teams top of the table, you can't really grumble.
And we've got 2 youth teams at the moment, which will expand to huge numbers next season. But how are they going? And more importantly, the teams you've got at the moment, do you see them next year as well as part of this app still?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I don't want anybody to be concerned. I will do my best to look after everyone within the club, as long as I want to be within the club. So the under-14s and the under-11s at the minute, nothing will change for them. They'll carry on as usual. 22 youth sides, I think, at the moment, and we've had other applications as well, and I'm sure that will only go up between now and the end of the season. Under 14s and under 11s at the moment, games have been up and down because of them being new sides and the weather again. Under 11s playing the top division, so that's non-competitive, so they don't have a league table or anything like that. And the under 14s, is a brand new side. They're playing in the B division, and they were in the C division last year, so they've taken a step up and they're doing very well. And Steve Perry, that runs that side, actually had to run the line at Millwall the other week as well. He was plucked from the crowd to be a linesman after an injury. So yeah, full credit to him. He's doing his bit.
Did I read right that he was the 4th official at one stage and he celebrated a goal, and then he ended up having to go and be a linesman as well?
Yeah, no. Well, I don't know all the details. I wasn't there, but something along those lines. He got his name and photograph in the Sun. So yeah, full marks for him for volunteering. So no, they're doing well. Very impressed with all of them. They bought into what the club is about, and I think they understand now, after an initial month or 2 at the beginning of the season of things not being perfect, the last month or 2, everything's settled down, and now they're just concentrating and enjoying their football, and they're doing well. I
know in December we've pulled one of the games forward to a Friday night, so for anybody over the festive period where you've got games on Boxing Day and New Year's Day and stuff like that, our game now is pulled forward from the Saturday the 29th to Friday the 28th, is that right?
Yeah, so we're playing Sporting Club Thamesmead with ground share with. We're due to play them on Saturday the 29th. It's been brought forward to the Friday evening. I think last time I looked, it's the only game in the country on that day. We'll be able to broadcast that live as well online. And we're doing that as a joint home game. We've got a good relationship with Thamesmead and all the people that work at the facility down here. So we're both going to be doing our bit to advertise that on social media, try and get it in the paper and get some local business people down and things like that. Hopefully pull in a good crowd. We had nearly 200 here when we played them earlier in the year. And if we're still up the top of the table and their results recently have been improving, yeah, I'd hope over the Christmas period people are be sick of turkey and watching TV that they'll come down and we could have 200 or 300 people at a Scaffold Division 1 game, which I'm sure that hasn't been done for a very long time.
What are you looking for over the next month, Kevin, as a club? Is there anything that you're looking for things to happen, or?
First team wise, stability. I'd like to see the boys that are involved at the moment buy into what the new management want to do. I've had so many conversations with people, but it's time that we put that into action, really. We've got 4 games this month, and I'd like to get as many points out of them games as possible. And if we do ourselves justice, if we play as well as I know that we can, then I'm very confident the good run will continue, and we'll hopefully be talking this time next month, and we'll still be sitting top of the tree.
Kevin, thanks for talking to us.
Cheers,
and we'll see you again. Well, it's probably the end of year and the monthly one at the end of December.
Look forward to it.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.